Hey YouTube, Jayne here. I had said at the end of my last video that I was going to do a baby names video next. I have been semi-active in the baby names community, mostly just on forums, and I follow Anastasia Ruby and her family channel as well. So I just wanted to share my top 10 baby names with you. They are going to be in alphabetical order because other than my top one or two favorite names, the rest of them don't really have any special order. So my first baby name is Ariadne, and I absolutely fell in love with this name after watching the movie Inception, which is probably where most people fell in love with this name. I love the exotic feel of it, and I love the nicknames Ari and Aria. Aria plays into my musical background, but it's not as obvious as just naming my baby Aria. Next, I have Celeste, and this is kind of more common compared to my other names, but I love the sound of Celeste, and I would probably pair this one with the middle name Maeve, Celeste Maeve. Maeve is most likely a middle name that we will use because of our Irish heritage, and it is honoring my maternal grandmother. Next we have Deirdre, and Ace and I often go back and forth about whether it should be Deirdre or Deirdre. I definitely like Deirdre better, and this one is also a nod to our Irish heritage. Next we have Eilis, and Ace and I both fell in love with this name after seeing the movie Brooklyn that stars Saoirse Ronan as Eilis. Next is a name that is a little bit of a nod to my father's French heritage, and that is Esmée. And I love the sound of Esmée. It is such a classic sounding name that is a little bit more spunky, and I love the nicknames Ezzy or even Emmy for this name. Next I have Juliette, and yes, I know that Stephanie's oldest daughter is Juliette, but this name is on my list because it is one of my mother's top names for me when I was born, and once I found that out, I just had to add it to my list. Next is probably my number one favorite name for a daughter right now, and that is Linnéa. I fell in love with the name Linnéa off of one of Anastasia Ruby's baby name videos, and I was looking for a name that I loved with the middle name Colette. Colette is going to be the middle name of our first daughter after my sister who died before I was born. I also love that it is a Swedish name because my maternal Irish grandmother, her grandmother is born in Sweden. So I have Irish-Swedish heritage on my mother's side. Next is also a number one contender, and that is Róisín. Róisín is Irish for Little Rose, and the very first time that I talked about baby names with Ace, he said that he would love to have a little Rosie as a daughter, and I absolutely love that he would be able to have his little Rose. Next, we have Saoirse, or as the actress pronounces it, Saoirse. I like Saoirse better. It is another Irish name that is a nod to Aces and my strong Irish heritage, and I did fall in love with this name before the actress became famous. My last girl's name doesn't really fit with my others. It is Sutton, and I love this name because of Broadway diva Sutton Foster. I just love how spunky it sounds on a little girl, and it's most likely one that won't be used, but it's more of a guilty pleasure name. For boys' names, the first one I have is Beckett, and most likely one we won't be using, but I added it to my list after talking baby names with my mother a little while ago, and I think it would be cute to have Beckett with the nickname Bex. Next is probably my top contender for son right now, and that is Everett. And I love Everett as a whole, and I also love the nickname Rhett. I think it would be just stunning to have a little boy named Rhett. Third, I have the name Grady, and I think it would be very sharp to have a little boy named Grady, and even though it doesn't need a nickname, I think it would be cute that he could go by Gray. Next is another top name for me, and that is Julian, or my French family would say Julian. And I love that it can have the nickname Jules. I think a little boy named Jules is so adorable. Next, I have Keiran, which is another Irish heritage name, and there are two spellings. I absolutely cannot decide which one I like better, so I have both, and if we do end up using it, that is something we will decide at that moment. Next, I have Nathaniel, which is more common than some of the names on my list, but I love the way that Nathaniel flows with our last name, and I love that you can get Nathan or Nate or even Nat from Nathaniel. I just love the long flow of Nathaniel. Next is the name Sterling, which I fell in love with. It's a quirky and definitely a guilty pleasure name that most likely won't be used anymore due to some bad associations for Ace. But I absolutely love the name. It's still one of my top names, even though it probably won't be used. Next is more common, but also not very popular where I live, and that is Theodore. I love the idea of having a little Theo, and even the nickname Teddy would be really cute. The next boy name I have is Truitt, and I just love the thought of having a little boy named True. Just such a cute nickname, not one that is really near the top of my list, but absolutely love Truitt. My last name is considered a virtue name, and that is Valor. I think Valor is a stunning name, and it would would be good for a little boy and for an older child and into adulthood. Plus, the nickname of Val is just very strong. So that was my baby names top favorite video. Ace and I currently aren't trying for children, but it is something we have been talking about. I would love to hear your thoughts on some of my favorite names, and I would love to hear what some of your top names are. And if you have children, what are the names you have picked? We will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.